Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022. This is Jennifer. A couple of things right off the bat. Number one, you can see I'm standing. I've been doing really well with my foot, and which is fortunate because if you watched last week's video, you know that my best girlfriend in the whole world spent an entire week with me, and she and I sewed up a storm. Jules is also a Talk to Me Tuesday maker. If you do not follow her on YouTube, she's Jules68. That is Jules with 2 L's. I will put a link to her channel in the description. You can also watch her at talktometuesday.wordpress.com, which is where all of our Talk to Me Tuesday video makers share our videos. Jules and I exchanged gifts, which is a thing that friends do. So she brought me some fabric from the quilt store where she works in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So these awesome little Roadrunners. And these are exclusive to Hip Stitch in Albuquerque. I will try to find these on their website and put a link for you guys. The Roadrunners are great, but I love the cactus. Oh my gosh, I'm a big fan. I have them in my garden and I have some in my kitchen window. And anyway, I love these. Again, these are exclusive to Hip Stitch. Links in the description if I can find them. For both of us, I made BFF Retreat cups. It's kind of a tradition at this point. I think we have 3 or 4. There are quite a few going on. I did the citrus strip method like I did on Amber's cup. Now this one is mine. It did not come out as nice as the one that I gave to Jules. I gave her the better one, of course. So it says BFF Retreat 2022 on this side, and on the other side, it says wine o'clock. So it does have a lid, and this one just doesn't have it on because it's downstairs. But this is a double-walled insulated wine glass, you know, whatever. But anyway, these were our retreat cups, and I have a feeling they probably will be for years to come because these are very well made, insulated, a lid so you don't spill, which is awesome, and we used the heck out of these. Over the past month or so, I've been talking to our Talk to Me Tuesdayers who are going to go to the International Quilt Festival in Houston about making t-shirts. And the reason I was pushing everyone to get their t-shirts here is because Jules was going to be here. We were going to do it together. And we did. I still have a couple more to make. I haven't made my own shirt, and I still need to make my friend Domine's shirt. This is everyone else's shirt. So I'm going to show these and use movie magic so you get to see them all without me talking. If you see someone wearing that shirt at Houston at the International Quilt Festival this fall, then talk to that person because that person is a friend of mine. It is going to be a reunion. It's going to be great, and I'm really looking forward to it, and those will be in the mail tomorrow. I did some big stuff. As you can see, there are some quilts on the wall, but I also did a lot of little stuff. So I made a ton of quilted hearts, and again, fast forward. Those started with very small orphan blocks or sort of unfinished orphan blocks. So if you saw one of your blocks and you recognize it, let me know. Quilt top making was the primary goal of this retreat. Jules and I both love orphan blocks, and we both love making quilts for our selected charities. I volunteer for the Linus Connection here in Austin, Texas, and she volunteers for Project Linus in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we had tons of orphan blocks spread out everywhere. I started with 3 bins this size, plus all the crazy pre-cuts that I showed you guys previously, and lots of scrap fabric. I took all my scrap fabric downstairs so we'd have access to it. Jules brought lots of stuff. We both primarily used our own orphan blocks, but there was a little bit of swapping going on and a little bit of fabric swapping going on, so you might see your block in one of her quilts, and someone that gave a block to her might see it in one of my quilts. So to make this less painful on you and shorter for me to edit, because I am already at 7 minutes, though I'm sure it'll be shorter when I edit all the gaps out, I am going to show you the quilt tops but I'm not going to do a lot of explanation. These are all orphan block quilts with the exception of one, which is the pink quilt, and that was a jelly roll quilt to try to deplete my abundance of 2.5-inch strips that happen to be pink. So I'm going to show you the tops, not say a lot about them, and then as I quilt these, we'll talk more about the actual process. Let's just have some quilt tops. That is it, guys. As you can see, I made a lot of quilt tops. I believe that's 24. Jules made 12, and to be fair, I was working faster primarily because like some of these blocks, like this quilt top, those blocks are in a bag together. So there was no thinking, no just sewing and sewing and sewing. Ones like this one here, this was several sets of blocks that I put together. So these are both really good representations of the different kinds of quilts I was making. And sometimes I had a big chunk I was working with and I just needed to add a little to it. There were a couple of batik-y ones that were almost assembled and I just needed to add a couple seams. These are pieced. They will have backs pulled for them as soon as I have recovered. And honestly, this is probably a year's worth of quilting for me. So I'm very excited to have all these done. Believe it or not, I've been sewing the last 2 days still with just a little bit during the day with my friend Domine. So I have another quilt top finished and I have another one in progress, but I'll save those for another day. I feel like that's probably quite enough for one go. If you saw any of the blocks you donated, let me know, and thank you, thank you, thank you, because obviously this would not be possible without the variety of blocks that you guys share with me. All of these quilts will be donated to the Linus Connection when I am finished with them. Once again, I know I probably don't need to say this, but I had the best time, and if you have friends that you get to sew with, ever sew with them. It is the best. If you have sewing friends that you haven't sewn with and you can, sew with them. It is cathartic and it's therapeutic and it's good for the heart and it's good for the soul. And if your best friend happens to also be a quilter, there's nothing better. You guys have a very wonderful week. Have a crafty week. I will see you guys next week. Bye.